Hi, I'm Shantini. I'm from Samaritans of Singapore and a counsellor with SOS. So as a counsellor, we provide counselling services, especially for suicide crises and suicide loss. And we also have support groups. At the same time, we also do crisis intervention and even ER when there's a suicide loss. Also consultation services for organizations, like when they want input about how to handle a case that's going through in terms of facing a suicide crisis or suicide loss. One of the most common misconceptions that Singaporeans have, and this was found out when they did a national study by SMU in collaboration with SOS, they think that when someone goes through, say, a suicide crisis, and you talk about it to anyone who has suicidal thoughts, you're actually increasing the suicidal thoughts, or you're going to make them act on it. So that you're planting that idea into them. But this is actually a myth. In reality, talking about it is actually going to help the person who's already having these thoughts in their head. So you're giving them an opportunity to actually air, letting their feelings being heard. And this actually helps them in terms of they feel validated, they feel understood, and not brushing it off. Another misconception that's common is also like we think that someone who has suicidal thoughts, it's like they are weak, they are selfish, or it's a lack of faith. But actually, suicide is complex. It's not just one single factor. They may be going through a complex range of factors in terms of personal crises, stress, trauma, and it's also inaccurate to think that anyone who has a suicidal thought have a mental health condition, because not everyone who has a suicidal thought or dies by suicide actually is diagnosed with a mental health condition. So they can be going through other issues, and it's many other factors that contribute to that. One of the things is it's in terms of education. So equipping yourself, learning about, first of all, suicide, what are the warning signs, and then how you can, for example, approach someone who's suicidal. When you see someone, what do you do? Identify the signs of distress. After that is to approach them. So when you approach them, you engage them with empathy, and actually to ask the suicide question. So the first one is like the direct way. I'm concerned for you. Are you thinking of killing yourself? And the last one is apologize, like the apology method. So a lot of like sorry, and especially being Asians. So you might say like, I'm sorry. This might feel strange, awkward, but are you thinking about suicide? And why we say it's so important to ask instead of like just assuming, or instead of like the elephant in the room or not talking about it, but instead directly ask. Are you thinking about suicide? So it gives them an opportunity to talk about it, and they also feel heard. Another thing is also the language we use. So for someone who, say, went through suicide loss, we don't say like, oh, they committed suicide, because that's like a criminal connotation to it. But instead, like, they died by suicide. So instead, not to reinforce negative stereotypes, but to also empathize and use sensitive and respectful language.